All right, let's talk about Bryce Young, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, if you haven't heard, playing in his third preseason game now. We got to see about a quarter of him playing, and I thought he looked really good in this game. I thought that he, again, to me, so far this preseason has really shown to be NFL ready, and I'm really expecting at least good things from him right away. I don't know about great things right away, but certainly just because I don't know, there might be great things. I'm just, to me, that's the question mark. But in terms of the first test, it's certainly been passed. So let's talk about what I liked about his performance in this game, and then towards the end, we'll get into kind of my thoughts on him as a whole and what this means for him heading into, his first season. Let's start off with this play. I want to actually start off with some of his mobility plays we saw in this one. I did think one of the real underrated aspects of his game is how he can move. He is someone who is capable of being able to, get around pressure and things of that nature. And I think people definitely talked about his pocket presence, but, certainly. But he really showed it off in this game, both his mobility and his pocket presence. And we're going to start off with this play where it's going to be a play action towards the offense's right, and then he's going to roll out towards the offense's left. That's the way this play is going to work. And I've circled a Dallas Cowboy edge rusher as, he's kind of the main guy on this play. Typically what you hope happens is he plays the run, and then Bryce Young's able to get towards the outside. However, when Young runs this play, it is not real. It's, he's all over it. I mean, this is good defense. Young is in trouble, and this could easily result in a sack or maybe something worse, too. Maybe you could get the ball out or something, having this straight of a shot towards Young. But instead, watch Young sidestep him here, and he's going to actually be able to turn this into a positive gain before going down. And does a pretty good job, too, I feel like, he did. He got tackled there. He wasn't able to get down himself. He got tackled in a way that's very unlikely for him to get injured. So I would still say that's a pretty good job of protecting himself, even if he did take a hit. This play was another really good example, I thought, where this is going to be a 3rd down and 2 right here. Important play in a meaningless game, right? Let's see how he's able to perform. And for Detroit, they're going to be playing man coverage on this one. So when Young takes the snap, it's not like there's a soft spot in zone for someone to fit in. There's, a guy covering every player, and no one is able to get open enough for Bryce Young to like it. And this play's been going on for a while, too. That's also worth mentioning. Offensive line doing a very good job of blocking on this play. In fact, we are, over 4 seconds into the play at this point. So this is a marathon type play at this point. Young now has to figure something out. There's a player who's, seemingly about to generate pressure onto Young. And as you see, Young sidesteps him and is going to be able to actually pick up the first down and avoid the hit. He outruns Jack Campbell there, who's not exactly known for his speed, but still, outrunning a linebacker is outrunning a linebacker. So definitely some good ways to pick up first downs with his legs. Again, using it in a smart way, right? It's not necessarily about how fast are you, so oftentimes about how smart are you with your running ability, and Young is an incredibly smart runner of the football, and he showed it off on these plays. He also just had some really accurate throws. Again, one of the weird things about film studies with accurate quarterbacks is it never really comes off right when I make a film study of a quarterback being accurate, because okay, what am I supposed to do? Just show 10 completions in a row? I suppose I could do that, but then I would probably get copyright claimed. So I'll break down one of what he was able to just do, 9 other times basically in this game. Probably not exactly, but you know what I mean. It's man coverage, and it's a quick slant route over the middle. So as long as you make this throw early enough that you're not throwing it when the player gets over the middle, it's a good route that can, get open against man coverage, and let's see how it plays out. Young is going to take the snap, and he's going to look in that direction, and there's definitely a window. And so what Young is going to do is just the simple stuff. Watch how he times this perfectly, puts it perfectly on the money, and they're able to pick up a first down right there. That's a lot of what we saw from Bryce Young. And to be honest, this is what we saw from Bryce Young at Alabama, right? It's not necessarily him making super highlight reel level plays, although he is capable of doing that. It's a lot of just consistently hitting the guy who's open. A play like this wasn't even as open. It's zone coverage, and this is a very simple play. This is one that I'm sure Carolina is going to want to run a lot. Frank Reich likes these plays a good deal, where it's going to be zone coverage. They're going to run play action, have a receiver running over the middle. Okay, linebackers get out of position due to the play action, throw over the top of them. Seems simple enough. So watch how Bryce Young's going to take the snap right here. He does run the play action. It's a little bit slower just because, they showed the all 22 feed but slowed it down a little bit. So figure I'd rather use that than the broadcast footage. So always nice when they are nice enough to give us the all 22 feed. But anyway, you see that this one, it's still open. I'm not trying to say that this is a mailbox type throw. He has a window to make the throw, but still, you have to time it properly. You have to know exactly how fast your receiver is, how fast the defender is, put it in a spot where you can, get as many yards as possible. And that's going to be exactly what Bryce Young does. It's once again just an incredibly accurate throw, and they're able to pick up another first down on this play. Is it the highest degree of difficulty throw? No, but again, most plays aren't. And kind of what typically separates bad quarterbacks from good quarterbacks is just being able to hit the simple stuff, which he did right here. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Again, it was a good performance from Bryce Young. He showed some real game manager aspects to his game, which I think that's the kind of thing that he gets talked about as this game manager, which again, somewhere along the way, being a game manager got turned into a negative, even though some of the best quarterbacks of all time were game managers. To me, I've always kind of viewed it as two mostly separate aspects of football when you're a quarterback, which is there's the game manager aspect and then there's the playmaker aspect. So, Tom Brady, the obvious, elite at game manager stuff, he could still find ways to do playmaking stuff. To me, playmaking isn't necessarily just being able to scramble. It's also something like getting through progressions quickly. To me, being a playmaker is just doing more than what the play, should have gotten you. We view this with running backs all the time, right? Like sometimes there's a hole that should get you 4 yards. If the running back gets 7 yards, then that's the positive. Well, I think quarterbacks can do that as well. But for quarterbacks, I think it's harder to, when a play is supposed to get you 4 yards, run the play and get those 4 yards first. So Bryce Young to me has shown he can do the playmaking aspect, and he's shown flashes, he's shown he can do the game manager aspect for sure, and he's shown flashes of being able to do the extra stuff. Now, I think it's fair to say as well, it's going to get more difficult once he gets to the to the regular season. That's just, of course, that's going to be the case. It's more difficult playing against starters for a full game versus playing against sometimes backups for a quarter, right? And obviously basic coverages make it easier to be a game manager and all of that good stuff. If you remember, Zach Wilson had a great preseason. But you know what? A lot of times when a player ends up being a bust, it's at least in part because they, not in part, but it was a sign, heading into the season that they had a bad preseason. A lot of times players that bust have a bad preseason is what I'm trying to say. So it's at least a good sign and, that he was able to be successful. It's the first test passed and we'll see what he does in the regular season now. Next time we see him play, it'll be in a regular season NFL game. Should be fun. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.